Hey 7th graders, hopefully you guys are watching this video as I give you guys some good hints as to how to take the test and how to do well on this. So first and foremost, don't forget that since today is the end of this unit, that you guys need to have all your missing work turned in by Friday at noon. So if it's not turned in and postmarked by, timestamped by 12 o'clock noon on Friday, I will not accept it. Okay, so I'm going to be closing down grades and assignments for that unit by the following Monday. So I'll be catching everything up, grading everything, and getting it in the grade book by Monday over the weekend, okay? So make sure you guys get those things done so you can get credit for them. And this also kind of includes things that you guys might want to redo for better credit. Maybe you turned in something partially incomplete or you didn't follow directions, whatever the case. You guys still have a chance until Friday at noon to go in and redo those items and send me a message and let me know I need to go grade them. Okay, all right, moving on. For today's test, there's two parts, and really this is going to take up the whole block day for you guys. First part, I want you guys to go to slide 2. You guys will use the link. It'll take you into Amplify, so right-click, click Open Link, and it will shoot you into Amplify. Here you guys have 3 activities to do. First, there's 14 multiple choice questions for activity 1. Then you guys have 2 written response to do. So you guys can see this little cute food web. And same here, another little food web here where you guys are answering questions. Remember, Amplify will
the data shows that recently.
Okay, so take care of that and make sure you guys hand it in Amplify. Okay, coming back into your PowerPoint, we're going to move on to slide 3. This is going to be your other little part of the test. So you're going to go ahead, open that up. It will take you into the Google form or the Microsoft form. And you guys will take this part in here. This is one that I'm really going to go through with you guys. So what are 2 ways a population could increase in size? This is directly from your guys' review. Okay, so hopefully you guys did that correctly. And then what are 2 general ways a population could decrease in size? Remember that when we're talking about like a predator, what does a predator generally fall under? Because predator could make animals change in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously they could die, but they could also move away too. So make sure you guys think about what you're answering there when you guys fill in your answers. What does it really fit under? What are the general ways that a population increases or decreases? All right, then I'm giving you guys some examples of populations that are either increasing, decreasing, or staying the same. So what is causing the population size to increase, decrease, or stay the same? So that's 3, 4, 5. 6, you guys have this food web, which at this point should be very familiar to you guys. So which 2? So there's kind of 2 food webs here. There's one right here, and then there's this little mini food web with only 2 organisms. So what 2 organisms are resource only? So there's 2 you need to check here to get the answer correct. And same with this one, which 2 organisms are consumer only? So they're only consumers. Again, there's 2 answers there. Check 2 to get your credit. What would happen to the sea turtle population if the orca population increased? You're going to tell me either increase, decrease, stay the same. What would happen to the sea urchin population if the kelp population decreased? Either increase, decrease, or stay the same. What 2 organisms in this food web are competing for the same resource? So which ones are in competition? Again, 2 answers there, so make sure you check both of them correctly. And then what would happen to the moon jelly population if the population of walleye pollock increased? So if we have a population increase of walleye pollock, what happens to your moon jelly? Either increase, decrease, or stay the same. What would happen to the orcas? If the zooplankton population increased, you're going to either select increase, decrease, or stay the same. What would happen to the algae population right here if the walleye pollock decreased? So you're either going to check increase, decrease, or stay the same. If the number of prey in an area increased, what happens to the number of predators? So this is looking at that predator-prey cycling that we've been talking about. If the number of predators in an area decrease, what happens to the number of prey? During the rut, bull elk fight other bull elk for breeding privileges within the elk herd. Elk that lose may be injured or could be forced to migrate to another ecosystem or herd. Which community interaction is this an example of? So those are from your notes. Obviously, you guys should be using your notes if you have them. Elves and wolves exist in the same food web where wolves get their energy from eating and killing the elk. Which community interaction? Is that an example again? Again, that's from your guys' notes. There are 3 types of symbiosis, which describes the relationship where one species benefits and the other is harmed, from your notes. Which describes the relationship where both species benefits. And which describes the relationship where one species benefits and the other is neither helped or harmed. Okay, so then from there on, you guys are using these 3 types of symbiosis to describe the interaction that you guys see in the description. So in the beginning of the year, we discussed the human microbiome, or all the bacteria found in and on the human body. Much of these bacteria are able to digest food that humans cannot, and also limits the amount of space available for harmful bacteria to grow. So what type of symbiosis is described in the relationship? So I really want you guys to think about, is there a benefit to the humans? Is there harm to the humans? Is there a benefit to the bacteria? Is there harm to the bacteria? Okay, once you guys have kind of answered those questions, you can select either mutualism, commensalism, or parasitism. Lice anchor to the hair of animals and lay their eggs. The lice also feed on the blood on the organism in which they reside. What type of symbiosis is described? So again, I want you guys to think about what harm or benefit the lice have and what harm or benefit the animals have. Okay? Burdock plants reproduce by producing a somewhat spiny seed. As animals walk by, the spiny seed attaches itself to the animal's fur and then is moved to a new spot where it can grow. What type of symbiosis is described in the relationship between the burdock plant and the animal? So again, I want you guys to ask yourself those questions. Is there any harm to the burdock plant from the animal? Is there any help from the burdock plant, or to the burdock plant from the animal? And then is there any harm to the animal from the burdock plant, or any help to the animal from the burdock plant? So then answer that question. Sea anemones protect themselves from delivering a harmful electric shock to predators. So you guys all know about Nemo and his little sea anemone. That sea anemone shocks animals as they swim by. However, clownfish, which they're not a predator to the anemone, so they don't eat the anemone, do not feel this shock. So they have something different in their nervous system. So they can use the anemone for shelter from their predators. What type of symbiosis is described in the relationship between the sea anemone and the clownfish? So again, ask yourself those questions about, are they helping each other or harming each other, or nothing at all? And then finally, you guys read about this in one of your lessons. Hopefully you did that lesson. The acacia tree is a tasty snack for herbivores. Other than its thorns, the acacia tree's main defense are ants that occupy the tree. The tree has hollow thorns that the ants can live in and produces nectar and protein-rich food to feed the ants. The ants are feisty and ward off the acacia-eating herbivores, insects that infest the tree, and can destroy other plants that would cause competition for the acacia. What type of symbiosis is described in the relationship between the acacia tree and the ants? Okay, once you guys have finished that up, go ahead, click submit, hand it in here, and then let's go back in. How do you guys think you did? So you guys think you got 100%? Mainly just on the last test is what I'm asking about. Solid A or B, 2 in the C or D range, and 1 I think I completely bombed it. Okay, so once you guys are done doing your little assessment here, your self-assessment, I want you guys to go ahead, turn this in, and I hope you all are having a good day and are looking forward to our new unit.